Welcome back to the Dreamworthy Destinations podcast. I'm your host, Sierra Dizer, a luxury travel advisor dedicated to helping make your travel dreams a reality. And today, we're going to be talking about Linz, Austria. And I have some suggestions about how you can spend some time there, whether you're actually visiting on land or just stopping over for a day on a river cruise. When most people dream about Austria, cities like Vienna and Salzburg are typically at the top of their list, stealing the spotlight. But tucked away along the banks of the Danube River lies a city that often surprises visitors in the best way possible. Linz, Austria is the kind of destination that many people don't necessarily expect to love and then cannot stop talking about it after they leave. Perhaps it's the way that centuries-old architecture stands beside cutting-edge technology, or maybe it's the relaxed pace compared to Austria's larger cities. Or maybe it's the simple joy of wandering cobblestone streets without fighting crowds while you discover a side of Austria that feels wonderfully authentic. So whether you're visiting Linz on a Danube River cruise, exploring Austria on your own, or searching for destinations that are beyond the typical tourist trail, Linz offers a fascinating blend of history, culture, cuisine, and creativity that I think deserves a place on your next itinerary. So first of all, we can talk about why you should visit Linz. Linz is located between Vienna and Salzburg, right along the Danube River. Linz is also Austria's third largest city and one of Europe's most underrated cultural destinations. Unlike some historic cities that feel frozen in time, Linz has successfully blended its rich past with a forward-thinking spirit. It's a city where medieval squares, Baroque churches, contemporary art museums, and innovative technology centers all coexist beautifully. In fact, Linz has even been named a European capital of culture and continues to be recognized for its commitment to art, music, innovation, and creativity. And for river cruisers, Linz often serves as a gateway to some of Austria's most memorable experiences, and yet many travelers discover the city itself is worthy of far more than just a quick stop for a few hours. So I would recommend beginning your day in Linz's historic Old Town, because the best way to start your day is by exploring charming Altstadt, or Old Town. At the heart of the city lies Hauptplatz, one of Austria's largest town squares. Surrounded by elegant pastel-colored buildings and impressive Baroque architecture, the square immediately sets the tone for the city's unique character. If you can, take your time here. Stop and sit at an outdoor cafe and watch the locals start their day. Listen to the church bells echo through the streets. Because travel isn't always about seeing more. Sometimes it's about slowing down enough to notice more. And then, as you wander through the Old Town, you'll have the chance to discover architectural treasures, including the Old Cathedral, also known as Alter Dom, the Land House, and the ornate Trinity Column, often called the Plague Column. Built in gratitude after the city survived war, fire, and plague, the monument serves as a reminder of Linz's resilience throughout history. The narrow side streets surrounding the square are equally rewarding, as they are filled with boutique shops, hidden courtyards, artisan bakeries, and inviting cafes. I also think you should take some time to discover Austria's musical heritage at St. Florian Monastery, because just outside of the city sits one of Upper Austria's most impressive landmarks, the St. Florian Monastery. Founded more than 1,000 years ago, this magnificent Baroque abbey is a masterpiece of architecture, art, and music. The monastery's grand halls, stunning frescoes, ornate chapel, and historic library transport you back centuries. Yet, for many music lovers, the greatest attraction is its connection to the famed Austrian composer Anton Bruckner. Bruckner served as the monastery's organist and is actually buried beneath the magnificent organ that now bears his name. But I think that even visitors who are unfamiliar with classical music often find themselves captivated by the serenity and the grandeur of the space. You can also take some time for a powerful visit to the Mauthausen Memorial. Not every travel experience is easy, but some are important. Located about 20 minutes from Linz, the Mauthausen Memorial stands as one of Europe's most significant historical sites. During World War II, Mauthausen was one of the largest Nazi concentration camps. And today, the memorial honors the lives of those who suffered there, while also serving as a place of remembrance, education, and reflection. Visiting Mauthausen is an emotional experience for many, but it's also one that travelers describe as among the most meaningful parts of their journey through Austria. It offers an opportunity not only to learn about history, but also to reflect on the importance of compassion, human dignity, and remembrance. Then you can take some time to experience Linz's modern side. One of the things that makes Linz so fascinating is its ability to embrace both history and innovation. The Ars Electronica Center, which is also often referred to as the Museum of the Future, showcases interactive exhibits that are focused on technology, artificial intelligence, science, and digital creativity. Nearby, the striking Lentos Art Museum features contemporary works in a stunning riverside setting. And together, these institutions reveal a side of Austria that many travelers never expect to encounter. But some of the best things that you can do in Linz is eat and drink all of the amazing local delicacies, because no visit to Linz would be complete without trying the iconic Linzer Torte. Often considered the world's oldest known cake recipe, which actually dates all the way back to 1653, this beloved Austrian dessert features a buttery spiced short crust pastry that's filled with tart red currant jam filling and topped with a lattice design. This treat has been a local institution for centuries. And I think the best place for you to sample it is Konditorei Jindrak, a local institution known throughout Austria. You can pair a slice with a traditional Viennese mélange, which is a coffee with steamed milk, and enjoy a leisurely break. After all, slowing down is part of the experience. Then, for lunch, head over to one of the many traditional taverns in the Old Town for a hearty Austrian classic like Wiener Schnitzel with lingonberry and potato salad. Or you can try the boiled beef with root vegetables, or bread dumplings and rich broth. One of the brew houses is a beloved local institution with excellent regional food and its own house brewed beer. Linz also has a wonderful farmers market culture, and the Südbahnhof Market is one of Upper Austria's largest outdoor markets and a wonderful place to graze on local cheeses, cured meats, fresh bread, and seasonal produce. For dinner, the restaurants along the Danube Promenade offer romantic settings and menus that celebrate regional Austrian ingredients elevated with modern technique. Another great way to explore the city and the Danube is by bike. And I found that for active travelers, Linz offers excellent cycling opportunities along the Danube River. The city's cultural mile route passes many of Linz's most important landmarks while offering beautiful river views along the way. Cycling also provides a wonderful perspective on the city and allows you to experience both its historic and modern sides at a more relaxed pace. There are also quite a few easy day trips you can enjoy from Linz. Because of Linz's central location in Upper Austria, it makes it an ideal base for some of Central Europe's most rewarding excursions. Salzburg is probably the most popular day trip, and it's just under 90 minutes by train. Salzburg is the birthplace of Mozart and the setting for The Sound of Music. Salzburg dazzles its visitors with Baroque Old City hilltop fortress and world-class music scene. You can wander through Mozart's birthplace, climb to the fortress for sweeping alpine views, or stroll through the Mirabelle Gardens that were made famous by the film. Salzburg does deserve a full day, or better yet, an overnight stay if you have the time. Another favorite is the Český Krumlov, which is just over an hour south into the Czech Republic. This UNESCO World Heritage Site feels like stepping into a fairy tale due to its staggering medieval beauty, with winding cobblestone lanes, colorful buildings, and an impressive hilltop castle overlooking the town. Its vast Renaissance and Baroque castle complex looms over a tight loop of the Danube River, and the cobblestone streets below are filled with artisan workshops, cozy restaurants, and a remarkably well-preserved town center. It genuinely feels like stepping into a fairy tale and is one of Central Europe's most underrated destinations. We also have Hallstatt and the Salzkammergut Lake District, which is about 75 kilometers southeast of Linz and offers some of Austria's most iconic alpine scenery. Hallstatt itself is a tiny lakeside village wedged between a mirror calm lake and soaring mountains. It is one of the most photographed places in the entire world, and rightfully so. The surrounding region offers world-class hiking, boating, and even spa retreats. Then lastly, we have Steyr, which is just 40 kilometers south of Linz and is a beautifully preserved medieval town at the confluence of two rivers that very few visitors even discover. Its Renaissance and Gothic old town is genuinely stunning, and the slower pace makes a perfect half-day escape. So now you may be wondering, when is the best time to visit Linz? And I do have to admit that Linz is beautiful year-round, but many travelers find the spring and fall especially appealing. The spring brings blooming gardens and more pleasant temperatures, while the fall offers colorful landscapes and harvest celebrations along the Danube. Summer is always especially popular for river cruisers, while December transforms the city into a festive wonderland that's filled with Christmas markets and holiday traditions. So if you're choosing to discover Linz by river, you can enjoy a Danube River cruise, and for many travelers, their first glimpse of Linz will come not from an airport or from a train window, but from the deck of a river cruise ship that's gliding along the Danube. And this might actually be the most fitting introduction there is, because Linz was built on the river and it's been a trading hub on the Danube for centuries. And I think that arriving by water gives you an immediate sense of the city's scale, its graceful riverfront architecture, and the lush Austrian countryside that wraps around it. So if you've ever considered a river cruise, a Danube itinerary is one of the best introductions to the format, and Linz can be one of the most rewarding ports of call. But in general, I think Danube can be a perfect first-time river cruise itinerary, because river cruising is a fundamentally different experience from ocean cruising. The ships are so much smaller and more intimate and typically carry between 1 and 200 guests, which means that the atmosphere is relaxed, the service is personal, and you're never navigating a massive vessel to find your way to dinner. You can unpack once and wake up in a new destination every morning, often right in the heart of the city. On the Danube, the scenery between the ports is genuinely spectacular. You'll be able to sail past vineyard terraced hillsides in the Wachau Valley, crumbling medieval castle ruins perched up on cliff tops, and the sweeping cityscapes of Vienna and Budapest, because it's a journey as much as it is a destination. The Danube is also wonderfully accessible because the ports are close together. The excursions are well organized, and the mix of history, culture, food, and wine appeals to an enormous range of travelers. So whether you're looking for a romantic escape, a multi-generational family trip, or a solo adventure, I'm sure that there's a Danube sailing that fits you perfectly. There are quite a few river cruise itineraries that include Linz. Linz features prominently on the most popular Danube itineraries and typically are a highlight on 7 to 11 night sailings that string together the river's greatest hits. For example, AMA Waterways Melodies of the Danube sails from Budapest to Wilshofen and also includes stops in Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, and Germany. And from Linz, you can choose a full-day excursion to the Český Krumlov in Czech Republic or opt for a day in Salzburg, which are two very different but equally wonderful options that showcase just how well positioned Linz is as a base for exploration. Or the best of the Danube itinerary is a round-trip sailing from Budapest, which includes stops in Bratislava, Vienna, and Linz. And you even have excursions that include a Melt Abbey tour or a Vienna woods hike. The round-trip format is especially appealing for travelers who prefer to fly in and out of the same city. We also have Uniworld's Cruise and Rail, which combines the Grand Alpine and enchanting Danube. And so if you want something beyond a standard route, Uniworld pairs a Danube sailing with a scenic Swiss rail journey for a truly multi-dimensional Central European experience. In Linz, Uniworld guests have the chance to explore the city on foot with a local expert, visiting Mozart's apartment and the Jesuit cathedral before stopping for a taste of the original Linzer Torte. Your afternoon then splits into small groups that visit the countryside cider farms for lunch at local specialties, which is an excellent way to experience rural Austrian life beyond the city's highlights. And then, of course, we have the holiday and Christmas market sailings. And if you're drawn to the magic of the European Christmas markets, the Danube is one of the best rivers in the world for festive sailings. There are itineraries like Emerald Cruise's 8-night Budapest to Munich sailing, where you can visit Christmas markets in Budapest, Bratislava, Vienna, Linz, and more, making a wonderfully atmospheric journey through the heart of Central Europe during the holiday season. Linz's Christmas market, with its Baroque backdrop and the scent of mulled wine in the air, is a true highlight. The Danube is served by virtually every major cruise line, which means that matching the right ship to the right traveler matters. For luxury travelers, I recommend Uniworld and Scenic, which deliver some of the most lavishly appointed ships on the water, with butler service, all-inclusive pricing, and an emphasis on immersive cultural experience. AMA Waterways is always beloved for its active excursion program, with full city bike tours in Linz and Vienna, which cover everything that walking tours see and more, in addition to its famous twin balcony staterooms, which are a genuine differentiator on the Danube. Viking River Cruises is always a favorite for its clean aesthetic, knowledgeable onboard programming, and its strong value. For family travel, Uniworld's Generations Collection version can be especially designed for multi-generational groups, with experiences like visiting the Ars Electronica Center in Linz, which is an option that isn't often found on other standard Danube itineraries. And even though most Danube sailings dock in Linz for a full day, you'll have the chance to arrive in the morning and depart in the early evening, which should give you plenty of time to explore. Ships dock conveniently along the Danube promenade, which puts you within easy walking distance of the old town. Most of the river cruises offer a range of organized excursions that you can choose from, but independent exploration is always an option. And if you're a well-prepared traveler, a day in Linz can be enough to take in the highlights of this beautifully layered city. So whether you arrive by ship or by land, Linz will reward you if you take the time to look beyond its modest reputation. It is without question one of the Danube's finest and most underappreciated gems, and there's no better way to experience the full sweep of this magnificent river than from the deck of a cruise ship. So I do think Linz is absolutely worth a stop, even though it doesn't have the Vienna grandeur or Salzburg's fame. That's exactly what makes it special. It's authentic, unexpected, and often one of the most memorable stops on a Danube itinerary. So if you love discovering places before everyone else, Linz delivers a rich blend of history, culture, cuisine, and meaningful experiences. Because sometimes the destinations we know the least about become the ones that we remember the most. So as I mentioned, Linz is wonderful to visit year-round, but late spring and early fall offer the most pleasant weather to explore on foot. Summer does bring outdoor festivals, river cruises, and the famous Linz Festival every September, which is a spectacular outdoor music and light show on the Danube banks. But it does draw tens of thousands of visitors. Winter is also magical with that beautiful Christmas market and far fewer crowds than Salzburg or Vienna. Linz is well connected by rail with frequent direct trains from Vienna or Salzburg. The Linz airport also offers regional European connections, though most international travelers do fly into Vienna and continue on by train for an easy and scenic journey. Linz is a walkable city, and most of the old town's highlights are within easy reach on foot. The city does have an excellent tram network and a historic electric tram that climbs into the hilltop for panoramic views, which is a fun excursion in its own right. Renting a bike along the Danube is also recommended, as the riverside cycling paths are flat, scenic, and beautifully maintained. If you're looking for somewhere to stay in Linz for a luxury experience, the Hotel Wolfinger on Hauptplatz puts you directly in the heart of the Old Town in a historic building with beautiful rooms. Or the Architel Nike on the Danube offers a more contemporary option with excellent river views. Both of these make ideal bases for day tripping across the region. So if you're ready to explore Austria beyond the ordinary, whether that's a Danube River cruise, a luxury European itinerary, or a custom Austrian adventure, I would love to help you create a journey that goes beyond the guidebooks. If this glimpse of Linz has inspired your wanderlust, visit dreamworthydestinations.com today to help plan your unforgettable Austrian getaway. You can schedule a complimentary consultation, and we'll start planning an unforgettable European experience that's filled with hidden gems, meaningful moments, and memories that are sure to last a lifetime.
Thank you for embarking on yet another enchanting journey with me on the Dreamworthy Destinations podcast. I hope today's episode sparked your wanderlust and drew your travel dreams a little bit closer to reality. If my travel tales have inspired you today, please don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to me, and so do your reviews. Please share your thoughts and let me know what adventures you're dreaming about next. You can also dive deeper into the world of unparalleled luxury travel by joining my community on social media. Please join my Facebook group, Dreamworthy Destinations, so you never miss an update or a travel tip from the trails that we wander. If you're ready to make your travel dreams come true, you can also schedule a complimentary consultation with me to start planning your next unforgettable getaway. You can visit dreamworthydestinations.com to book your session today. A big heartfelt thank you to each and every one of our listeners. Your passion for exploration keeps dream-worthy destinations alive and thriving. Because of you, I continue my mission to turn travel dreams into breathtaking realities. Until our paths cross again, remember, imagine, explore, indulge. May your week unfold with the promise of adventures waiting just beyond the horizon. Keep dreaming and keep exploring, fellow wanderers.